I feel like the story is going to make me cry, so I'm going to go get some tissue real quick. All right, I'm back. Sorry for the chair squeaking. So as you can see, I'm in Jamaica, beautiful Jamaica. This is me and my family's first time here at a wonderful resort. I'll show you the view later, but kind of want to update you on what's been going on in my world. So this story is about my dad, but I have to give backstory in order for you to understand the situation. I really hope the audio is okay. Maybe I should turn the AC off. Hopefully you don't hear it in the background. Yeah. So I'm like, where should I start? I feel like I have to give you history of like how it even came to be, because it's a little odd. So my parents met in college down south. They went to an HBCU together. And okay, I'll also say this. There's a lot that I don't know also. So I'm just telling you what I do know. So there may be gaps in the story. But yeah, that's life. So my parents met in an HBCU in the 80s. Yeah, around the 80s is when they were in college, I think. I was born in 92. They met in college. From what I was told, they had an on and off relationship of about 8 years as they went to college. My mom already had my brother, but he was being cared for by my grandmother back home in Kansas while she went to school in the South. And she met my dad there after giving birth to my brother. Eventually she did move back home, but they continued their relationship because my dad ended up getting his graduate degree in education in Chicago, and which is in the Midwest, so that allowed them to continue to be close and stuff. They were very on and off. I actually just learned more information about that. I'm trying not to put all my mom's business out there. But yeah, so they met. They were together for a while. And then, I guess, around 91, they decided to get married. My parents got married in my hometown at my home church. It was a very big wedding. I don't know this because I was told this. I was shown a video of their wedding when I was very little by my brother. My older brother, Michael, kind of snuck and showed me my parents' wedding video. And here's where the story gets interesting. That was my first time ever seeing my father, seeing a picture of my father. So yes, they were married. My dad's father, my papa, he bought them a home in Tampa, Florida, which is where I was to be born. And I guess like after they got married and my mom moved there, she didn't feel comfortable. From my understanding, there may have been control issues, and it was just heading towards something where she didn't feel safe, so she decided to come back home. Seeing that they had just gotten married, my dad decided to follow her, but the conditions were that my dad could not or wouldn't live in the same house as her. So So my mom and my brother lived in my house, in the house of my grandmother, and my dad lived in my aunt, one of my aunts, my grandmother's sister's house. Um, and during this time of them living separately is when I was conceived. um, so yes, I was conceived, and then there was an incident that happened with my father where him and my mother just, it wasn't working out. I don't want to give all their business out, but my dad left. He decided to leave Kansas City, and he left, and he never came back. So I was not born with my father in my life, and although my parents had a seemingly, long relationship of over 10 years, I didn't have that same experience with my dad. So I was kind of born into a very confusing situation anyway. Because it was everybody was aware and familiar with his presence except for me. And my dad is a very charismatic guy. He's a Gemini. He's an educator. So he obviously has the skill of communication. And so once I was born into this situation, I kind of learned about my dad a lot through other people, because a lot of people always wanted to tell me about him. And it was really odd to have a lot of people come up to you and tell you about a person that you really didn't know. And not that we didn't talk. When I was younger, he really struggled with, especially when I was really young, 3 and 4, he really struggled with his alcoholism. But yeah, it was getting him into some dangerous situations. At one point, he got into a altercation that resulted in him losing his I think it's his left eye. So it would be things like that. That's what I would hear as a kid, oh, Deco, totaled a car, or just really kind of negative stuff. That's what I knew about my dad, was that he was an alcoholic. Unfortunately, was that he was an alcoholic. That's what I knew from my mom. But other people would always be willing to tell me other things, more things about him. So yeah, our relationship was like that for quite a long time. When I became preteen age, I got my first cell phone, and I don't know if it was me or him, I can't really remember, but at that point, that's when he and I started communicating. At this time, I feel like he was much more stable too. He was working, he was teaching. He taught middle school math, and he was great, and we talk all the time. It just, all of a sudden, that was my best friend. I was kind of I would say I was a lonely kid. A lot of my time went on ballet and church and doing everything that all the people around me expected of me. And that took a lot of time. If you know anything about classical ballet training, balancing, you know that it's very rigorous. A lot of us end up actually going to boarding schools because it's really hard to balance a strict ballet curriculum with education. It's just the reality. And also, I didn't grow up in a situation where there was much stability, as you can tell. Even aside from my dad being an alcoholic, my mom had her own mental health issues. So, yeah, I was kind of like a very kind of depressed and lonely kid. And when I started talking to my dad for the first time over the phone, a lot of me felt like he was everything that I needed. You know, he was the protection that I needed. I wasn't very good in school. He was a teacher. He could help me with my homework over the phone. He was patient. He understood child development, so he knew when things were inappropriate, which was not a thing in my life at home. Um, he knew, like, what things to talk about, what things he wanted to explain to me, and what things he didn't want to explain to me, which I'm really grateful for. Um, he was just a cool dude, and he was really funny. He was really funny. He had a southern accent. We liked the same things. We liked the same type of food. I'd always grown up, people being like, "Oh my God, you look just like your dad. You look just like your dad." So there was that aspect of it. It was just like we had a very similar sense of humor. It was just like, oh my God, I felt like, um, where before, um, I kind of felt like an orphan a lot in my life. I didn't feel like I related much to my mom. Um, and I don't feel like she was around as much as I needed. Um, and obviously with my dad not being there, being able to communicate with him kind of filled a little bit of a gap for me. I knew I had a dad. Um, I had my stepdad too, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I was raised by my stepdad is a Danish man, like actually for Denmark, and that is the man who raised me. And I actually feel like he had, I probably got more from him than my mom and how I navigate as an adult. But that's, yeah, yeah, for another day. So, yeah, so that's the foundation of me and my dad's relationship, and it continued throughout the years. And I was just like, if I was feeling a way, if there was things that I didn't understand, that was the person I could speak to about it, you know. But he was also not afraid to tell me what was wrong, what I should consider, what I should think about, who I should consider. Um, he was just a good person. Um, so our relationship continued like that. When I was 17, my dad's dad, oddly enough, my dad's life is very similar to mine. So his dad, I don't know if I should even say this. Okay, so my dad's dad is actually his, one of his uncles is who he considers his dad. When my dad was born, he was abandoned. Um, he was abandoned from what I was told by his mom, and they someone found him, took him to the hospital. He was pronounced dead, and then came back. And at that point, from what I know, this may or may not be true. I really don't even know. But from what I know, my papa, his dad, came and got him, and at that point, that's when he adopted him, and he and his siblings and stuff, they helped raise him. So yeah, so my papa is still his sister's brother. So my dad didn't grow up without his mom, but not with her acknowledging that she was his mother or like caring for him. So they were in the same family. He'd still have to see her, but she didn't give him motherly love. And so, I mean, and those kinds of things gave me understanding to how my dad ended up in the situation that he was. Like, he would even talk about how, you know, they think it was funny to give him alcohol when he was a little kid, you know, like to just see what he did and stuff. And that's where he felt like the root of his alcoholism came from. We talked about those things. And those things, that wasn't really something he was like proud of. It was just really the only way he knew how to cope, which gave me a different understanding of addiction really early. And I was around a lot of addicts as a kid. So I quickly understood that although this is the vice and the substance that is needed for you to feel human, to release, not feel the pain that like encompasses and plagues your mind and your heart, that this is just a band-aid, that it didn't necessarily make you a bad person. You're just sick, you know, like you're not feeling good, you're sick, you need some help. And it's a process. It's not something that just happens. It's a process to make the decision that you want to cope in a different way. And that is not an easy decision. I've been addicted to cigarettes when I was, you know, in my teens and, you know, very early 20s. And I know how hard it was to quit that. So I always grew up with a compassion for that. So yeah, when I was 17, my papa died. And my papa was also very dear to me. Another person that I spoke to fairly often. My papa was, I'm sorry, it says these Fujis, it's really, okay, we had to take a break because my Fujifilm is overheating. Is this look better? Well, definitely my camera's dirty. You want to see my Jamaica view? Let's go. Oh shit, what the hell? Why is it like that? Beautiful. Open the door. Like, oh my god, this story really makes me anxious because I've never told. It's like, you know, it's like something I very much keep to myself. Like a lot of these, most of the people in my life don't know this story, you know, or know anything about yeah, my life history and my parents and things like that. Like, I've not really shared a lot of information on that. So this is kind of a big deal, but I really need to get it off of my heart because I haven't talked about it with anybody other than my therapist. Now we are currently speaking, but that is part of it. I don't want it to be a sense of shame anymore, anything that I need to like hold on to. I want it to just be like it is what it is, but not in a dismissive way, in an acceptance way, you know, like by the end of the story, I want you to know that I'm okay with how it happened. I wish it didn't all happen that way, but I'm okay. Our video got cut off today. My camera overheated. I'll be back tomorrow and we will resume the story about my dad. As for now, I'm about to enjoy my night. Go put my feet in the sand, rest, and talk to you tomorrow. See you then. Dinner time. Tell me what it is again. What you got?
This curry chicken. This is oxtail and jerk chicken.
Amen.
And
Praise Jah.
100%. In the bed.
You know what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it's not bad.
Who's it? Better have some. Is somebody in there? Oh, shit. Okay. No, don't die. Right, I can't save you, brother. They ain't got my swimsuit on.
He in there blind, literally though.
No, I'm just kidding. That's stupid.
In the water, so it's good if you want. It's cold, like hot outside.
Ding, 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 ding. Let's go this way. Don't fall in the pool. Say Beyonce. Say Beyonce. Say Beyonce. Yes, heavy on the Beyonce. Go this way. She's so loud. I feel like my voice really carries you. Like I ain't heard anybody as loud as me.
I mean, low key, but that's their problem.
Were you silent or were you silenced? Oprah?
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Oh, Michael Jackson. That's all anybody cares about right now.
What?
Because Michael Jackson.
I know.
Me included. Oh, damn, they in a spot. Oh, yeah. Huh? Is it? Oh, good. Okay. We're about to go right away. I know, it's a red stripe. Got me going. Here, bub, let's go this way. It's in. Okay. Oh, shit. Stop. Stop. Go. No. It's tripping. You gotta, if you want to do that in the morning, you gotta ask, okay? Hear me, bud? Get up. That's why I told you to bring your shorts. Why didn't you bring your swim trunks? I wish it was a little lighter so you could see.